I've worked for Brock Lawn and Pest Control for many years. The commitment to the needs of customers
and their commitment to each employee makes Brock a company I'm very proud to be a part of.
Brock's core values are also mine. Give people more than they expect and always honor your promises.
This isn't a job, it's a service to help people live a healthier lifestyle.
Brock Lawn and Pest Control, our family protecting your family.
Ellis Agency Insurance has been serving Panama City and Bay County for years. They offer a full line of affordable insurance coverage of all types. Many people are attracted to Ellis Agency Insurance because of their friendly, knowledgeable staff. Call independent agent Johnny Ellis for a true comparison of your personal or business insurance. Ellis Agency Insurance at the Old Cullen Insurance location, 1134 Harrison Avenue, across from Dandy Donuts and Deli. Call 763-1627.
PCB Hobby, the beach's premier hobby store for sports cards, comics, coins, and trading card games. PCB Hobby carries the largest selection of boxes and packs from the latest releases of brands like Topps, Panini, Leaf, and more. Looking for a specific player or team? PCB Hobby has a wide assortment of raw and graded cards. They carry parallel rookie, game used, and autographed cards in both modern and vintage. Have a collection you want to sell? We buy, sell, and trade. PCB Hobby on Back Beach Road, just east of Florida Linen. Call 850-320-8388.
Dat Cajun Place is your LSU and Saints football headquarters. Saints and LSU fans, wear your team colors and score a free Jell-O shot when your team scores a touchdown. Only at Dat Cajun Place. Get $5 pitchers on select draft beers during all live football games. Catch all the games at once with the NFL package on 27 large TVs at Dat Cajun Place. And the best wings on the beach. The locals' favorite, Dat Cajun Place.
As a realtor, it's important who you choose as your title company. May we suggest South Oak Title? Their offices are modern, comfortable, and state-of-the-art. South Oak Title can close transactions in any location in Florida, Alabama, and Tennessee. Their free mobile app allows realtors to deliver a net sheet in seconds. They provide mobile closing services to accommodate buyers and sellers. Their offices are beautifully decorated, state-of-the-art, complete, safe, and secure. South Oak Title, creating a better title and closing experience through technology and tailored service. Visit them online at southoaktitle.com.
WGSX Lynn Haven, WVLQ Port St. Joe. Powered by Panama City Toyota. ESPN Northwest Florida. Get ready.
Let's play the game.
Sports Talk Radio will never be the same.
I just don't think that anybody's going to succeed in that system.
It's a bad organization.
It's just a bad organization.
The Afternoon Underdogs.
Onion pickles, onions pickles.
Live and local.
Look, it's impressive.
On ESPN.
Northwest Florida.
What is up, Northwest Florida? You're now riding along with the Afternoon Underdogs. I'm David Hayes, along with Caveman Rick, here on a stupendous Tuesday afternoon in Panama City. We are on the frequency of 104.3 in Panama City and 101.9 in Port St. Joe. It's the Afternoon Underdogs. We had some NFL action on the air last night between the Bears and the Vikings. There was two games going on, Falcons and the Raiders. We had, the semifinals in the NBA Cup, and that final is going to be going on tonight between the Bucks and the Thunder. We're going to have a little bowl game action for you this evening. It's going to be Memphis and West Virginia, which could be a very fun game. It's a game that I've had a little trouble picking because you've got Memphis, number 25 team in the land, but a G5 school, in West Virginia coming in with a 6-6 record. But do they have what it takes to upend the Memphis Tigers, who are a 6-point favorite? We'll get to more of that later on this evening as we get Tyler Bishop on the line with us at 5:20. He's got that stomach bug or whatever it is that is going around. I'm seeing a lot of that on social media, so hopefully you're all out there taking care of yourself and drinking plenty of vitamin C, but it does seem like it is sweeping through the area. Caveman Rick, how's your afternoon been so far?
Very busy, man. About their job, very chaotic, hectic kind of day. So it's kind of nice to be here now, kind of maybe take a breath, and just kind of chill for a second, Yeah, just talk about some sports.
Well, normally on a Tuesday you get a large opportunity to chill because I normally have two other vocalists in the booth with me, and so it allows you to kind of just chillax and not on Fridays, I got, we're going back and forth at it, but that's how it's going to be today. We are going to try to get Max on with us at 4:20 if he's available. We'll have Banji Bomadella on with us at 4:40 and 5 o'clock this afternoon. He'll get us, we'll go through boys, girls basketball, boys and girls basketball, and boys and girls soccer as well, and get his takes on the power rankings where he's got them all set up, and then go over some of the big games that happened last night and what we can look forward to throughout the week. And some of the top players across all of those sports. Banji Bomadella is a sports reporter for the Panama City News Herald. He will join us at 4:40. Then again, as I mentioned, at 5:20, we'll have Tyler Bishop, who's normally in with us on Tuesdays, talking about all things college football, and we'll wrap up our show today at 5:40 with what we're going to start with, which is the basketball and soccer scores from yesterday evening. In high school boys basketball, you had Mosley get a 2-point win over Bay. Apparently McFadder had himself a good game. Mosley wins 47-45. It was North Bay Haven falling to Bozeman 64-51, and Port St. Joe taking it to Covenant Christian. The final score there was 67-20. Covenant's very young basketball team. Coach Thomas Gaidish just took them over this year. That's actually where I graduated high school from. And, it's tough for them to go up against the public school opponents. They're a much smaller school than some of the freshman classes of a lot of these high schools around here, but maybe he'll get them going on the right foot. And when you're playing that tough competition, you never know how things are going to go in the future for you, because you got to face those battles. In girls high school basketball, it was North Bay Haven over Bozeman. The score there 44-27. Arnold took care of business against Poplar Springs. The score there was 37-23, and Mariana beats Bethlehem 44-31. In boys high school soccer, Maclay takes down Arnold 1-0. That is not something that we've been accustomed to hearing over the last 3, 4, 5 years that Jonah Hammond has been the high school, the head coach over there for the boys high school soccer team. Maclay getting the win over Arnold 1-0. South Walton shutting out Bay 3-0. Mosley shutting out North Bay Haven 1-0. And Navarre all over Bozeman 8-0. In girls high school soccer, it was Mosley over North Bay Haven 2-1. And Freeport takes down a lot of shutouts. Freeport over Rutherford 3-0, and Niceville over Fort Walton Beach 8-0. Also, Walton High School head football coach Keith White announced his retirement yesterday evening. He led Walton and the Braves for the last 4 football seasons, finishing with a record of 34-11. He had 4 playoff appearances and 2 playoff victories. I believe he was coaching for around 32 or 34 years, so a very long time. Congratulations to those Mosley Dolphins. I know that they're having their football banquet this evening over there at Edgewater, so I hope that they have a great time handing out their awards. And as we mentioned yesterday, Coach Tommy Joe Whidden will be back with the Fins for 2025, as he had a few offers out there, one of those coming from Lincoln, which is over there in Tallahassee. So good stuff. And we'll see how it's going to be a little bit of a growing pain year, I would assume. Now, he's got 2 JV teams over there for Mosley, but losing your quarterback in Sammy Freitas, losing a guy like Locavion Jackson, losing a guy like Raiden Bruins, there's a lot of good in the in the underlings, if you will, the undergrads, the underclassmen, but they're losing a lot of talent as well. We'll see how the offensive line ends up shaping up to give some help to whoever it could be. It could be J.P. Holzenbach. It could be Caleb Muzinski over there being the quarterback for the Dolphins. But we'll find out how that plays out next year in 2025. Let's get back to it, though. Last night we had a little action, Monday Night Football. We were actually involved. Caveman Rick and myself were involved in a little different type of action, playing a little poker with some of the boys. Boston Tim, having some fun with him. Nice to see him kind of getting around a little bit better, right?
Yeah, good guy, man. Good to see he's getting around, doing a lot better than he had in the last, I guess, what is it, like a couple months now, huh?
Yeah, it's been a while.
Yeah. And, very proud of him getting around. Always a good host, man, and had a great time. Thanks a lot, Tim.
Absolutely. Vikings, though, did take care of business 30-12 against the Bears. They now move to 12-2. Again, Caleb Williams and the Chicago Bears have been atrocious on the road. They've really been atrocious ever since the dismantling. Let's not call it dismantling, but it was a discombobulated final play of the game when they lost to the Commanders over there in Washington, but they have not been the same team. Caleb Williams looks like he's running for his life. He also looks like, as someone put it on social media today, that he's like a kid back there. He's like a kid smashing buttons on an Xbox controller, just kind of doing all kind of crazy things. Again, I mean, are you seeing anything different than what I'm seeing? Do you believe that they can get the right coach in there and Caleb Williams is going to have a successful future in the NFL? I mean, when you're getting outplayed, at least in my opinion, by Jaden Daniels and even to an extent with when you compare the rosters to Drake May, that's not a good sign if you're the number 1 overall pick, and maybe should have Eberflus thought of not just putting the number 1 pick out there to start the season. What are your thoughts there, Caveman Rick?
I don't want to pick on Caleb Williams. I don't want to just blame him and think it's all him. We've seen too many times in the past where a quarterback gets drafted in the wrong spot and doesn't have the success that they would have hopefully had, that a lot of the pundits out there would thought that they might have had based off of the talent that they've had in college or maybe even back in high school. So all that things being said, I think they can if they can find the right guy. I mean, the guy's got some talent, obviously, enough so to make him a first-round pick, right? So, having that kind of talent and being able to play like that, you would think that he's going to be able to, if he has the right, system around him. They have talent around him. They have players. They have playmakers that can make plays. That's not the reason why, the team is faltering. Having not a good head coach, obviously, with Eberflus getting, fired here mid-season, something that the Bears, right? That was something they've never done before in the past.
Never, ever, ever.
I mean, that just goes to show you that, hey, this is something pretty atrocious and something that, they haven't seen before. Preference all this, too, with saying that, a lot of these quarterbacks that we see that come in from college that are high draft picks, they've had a lot of success in college, in high school. And they haven't seen a lot of adversity, right? They've all had winning. They've had their rear ends kissed. They've been handed the keys to the car, if you will. And sometimes this is the first time they actually see losing. They see some adversity. They see maybe getting yelled at a little bit or getting their rear end chapped by the coaching staff and what have you. I think there's a lot to that too about their body language. Maybe Caleb Williams just kind of hit the wall too, being a rookie, not used to playing in the NFL, playing this many games. There could be something to that, that we're in here week 15. Maybe he just hit the proverbial wall and the guy's kind of spent and done, and maybe he just needs to kind of get into the weight room a little bit more and kind of just get used to a full grind like in the NFL and not playing in college.
Well, if he's spent already for this season, if that was the actual case, which unless you're Anthony Richardson, I don't think you're going to tell your head coach that, right? But if he is spent, would you, if you were the head coach or the interim coach, do you think about maybe, all right, we're going to let you play one more game and then I want the last 2 games of the season, or we'll play week 16, week 17, you're going to sit by me and I'm going to show you what I want out of you, what I expect out of you, and then we'll get back to the grind week 18 so that you can go into the season with some more playing time under your belt?
I don't know. I think right now, if he has hit the wall and, you're obviously not going to make the playoffs, right? You're not going to improve your seeding anywhere and doing anything in the postseason. So if that's the case, maybe, give the guy a break, maybe don't hurt his confidence. What if he goes out there and, for lack of a better term, like a Sam Darnold has a bad game, starts seeing ghosts, that could be, really detrimental to his psyche and to his confidence. So I don't think you should do that. This has already been a rough season, first year, his head coach getting fired. So I'm sure there's a lot of questions in the kid's head. I think right now the best thing that you can do is kind of, I don't want to say protect him, but, get him out, make sure, he's in the right frame of mind so he can come back next season, hopefully under a different head coach, under a different system, and be prepared and ready to learn and not already be discouraged and not already be kind of hanging his head down low.
Yeah, no, great points there. Rick Ty chiming in says, "What's up, D Hayes and Caveman?" Chef Ross says, "What's up, fellas?" And Caveman Rick saying, "Yo," on Facebook. We are streaming live on Facebook, on YouTube, and on Twitch as well. I was going to say Twitter, but it's been a while since we've been on Twitter. Again, tonight, kickoff at 8 p.m. That's when we'll get you to the coverage. It's going to be the Frisco Bowl, 25 Memphis taking on West Virginia tonight at 8 p.m. Yeah, Minnesota, though, tough game played from them last night. They continue to look better and better over the last 4 games, not including last night. I don't know if Sam Darnold ended up turning the ball over or not, but going into the game last night, he was over the last 4 games, 11 touchdowns, 0 interceptions, taking care of the ball. Aaron Jones has become a bigger part of that offense. Obviously, we know about Justin Jefferson, the growth from Jordan Addison, the great tight end, and T.J. Hawkinson, who didn't start playing until week 8 or 9. Things are starting to come together. The defense is starting to look a little bit better as well. They're sitting there with that record of 12-2, and now they're right there. They're technically behind the Lions because the Lions got the win the first time that they played each other, but I do believe that they have another date against each other. Lions or the Vikings end up winning the NFC North from your perspective. If I think right now, with the way that the Lions are battered up, I think that the Lions are a better football team overall, but the Vikings are playing with some passion right now. I think that the Vikings have a very realistic shot at ending up as the NFC North divisional champs this year.
Okay, I guess I can say that or see that potentially. With David Montgomery going down, that's the big question mark for the Lions, right? And seeing how that they're going to utilize their running game and the passing game to try to offset the loss there of David Montgomery. So until we see how they, offensively run the team next week, I'm going to kind of hold, back on what I would say. Yeah, exactly on that. Because I think overall, Detroit's been more proven. They got probably, more talent on both sides of the ball. And so because
especially
of that,
healthy.
Yeah, no doubt. And, who you got more faith in at quarterback right now? I mean, Darnold or Goff over time,
It's so tough, man. I mean, Jared Goff, we had the question on Friday.
One season, though. This is like an admiration, and Goff's had a pretty good, body of work his whole career, been to the Super Bowl. So all things being said, I got more faith in, the Detroit Lions right now at this point.
And if they met in the playoffs, I think that I have a different answer for that. But with the question being who wins the NFC North and they have another game, and again, I should honestly look at the Lions schedule and the Vikings schedule before really cementing my pick right there. But I think that there's a realistic opportunity. So for the Lions, it looks kind of easy here. They've got the Bears, but that is in Chicago. Then they got the 49ers. What version of the 49ers are you going to see? And then they host the Vikings in Week 18, which all the marbles could be on the line for that game. Whereas the Vikings, they have the tougher trail. They're on the road in Lumen Field taking on the Seahawks this Sunday. Is this Sunday the 22nd already? My goodness,
Christmas
gracious.
right around the corner, man.
And then
a week from tomorrow.
Then it's a lot tougher for the Pack or for the Vikings because they get the Pack in Minnesota on the 29th of December, and then again, as we mentioned, on January 5th, the final Sunday of NFL action, they will be traveling to the Detroit Lions. So I think with the way that the schedule plays out, I think that the Lions absolutely win their next 2 games.
It just, like I said, depends on Montgomery. It depends on the loss.
But I think that they win their next 2 games. I don't think that they need David Montgomery to beat the Bears. I don't think that they need David Montgomery to beat the 49ers. I really don't think that they need Montgomery to beat the 49ers. I think you might need a little bit more Aleem McNeil, their defensive tackle, who they lost for the rest of the season as well. So that makes it tougher for me to go ahead and pick the Vikings now looking at their schedule. So I'll stick with the Lions, but I wouldn't be surprised if the Vikings in Week 18 end up taking care of business against the Lions. And I think the Vikings could be a team to watch out for in the playoffs. But again, it's almost like the Lions of last year where this is newfound success for them. So how do they look when all the marbles are actually on the line and they're not just kind of playing with no weight or no stress on their back? Also, from the world of baseball, Cody Bellinger has been traded to the New York Yankees. So from the Cubs to the Yankees, there was a lot of steam kind of around this particular move. Belly's going to the Yanks, and Chicago's actually sending $5 million to go with Cody Bellinger, former MVP, and they're going to be getting reliever Cody Poteet. That's according to Jack Curry of the Yes Network. So Cody Bellinger headed to the New York Yankees. What do you think about that move? I mean, they needed to get a corner outfield bat. Now, Cody could also play center field, but I think that you would keep Aaron Judge right there. But this is someone that I think the Yankees, Yankee fans wanted. I think that they're excited about it. I'm real curious if we do have the opportunity to talk with Max about how he feels about this. I don't think that he felt very strongly that Belly was going to be on the Cubs roster heading into the 2025 season.
Yeah, it sucks if he's not on the roster for the season because, I mean, they, made some moves already. This is kind of like, I wouldn't say it's any kind of addition by subtraction. Losing a guy like Bellinger is a pretty big deal. And then going to the Yankees, too, that's also like a pretty big deal, too. Yankees, kind of keeping, status quo, rich kind of get richer. Like you said, be interesting what they're doing as far as placement. But, yeah, keeping Aaron Judge out in the outfield would probably be the smart thing to do. But we've seen Aaron Judge have injury issues before in the past, right? So it's kind of nice if you can get somebody like that you can slide in there that's actually a pretty good bat, too, to kind of make up for it. Obviously, he doesn't have the firepower that Judge has got, but, can definitely help you out if need be. And he could be a depth guy, too, come late in the year, playoff time, you know what I'm saying? Come in the playoffs, needing somebody in the clubhouse that's been there before, knows how to, knows how to win. So, I guess it's kind of a good thing for both teams. Sending the money over, though, was kind of an interesting kind of thing. Yeah,
that's what was wild to me. Like, why are you going to send $5 million along with that and get a reliever that is how important is he going to be to your bullpen?
Like, it was that much of a deal that you had to move him and give the money up. Like, I don't understand that. There had to be something else going on there, I think, but I don't know what.
Johnny Yankee Seed says, little spicy detail on the Belly trade to the Yanks. Stanton used to be with Cody Bellinger's wife, so I wonder how that could play out in the clubhouse. Johnny Yankee Seed also says that Belly will play center and Judge will go to right. So maybe Belly's got a little bit more range. That would make a lot of sense, especially when you look at the nature of their stature. But that's an interesting move there. Baseball season has, the offseason hasn't had a ton of sparks to this point. I think, after the Juan Soto deal, everything kind of died down a little bit, but we'll be ready for those pitchers and catchers to be reporting here in a couple of months.
Interesting what you're talking about, the range. Yeah, that might help Aaron Judge. I mean, we've seen, when he hurt his toe, what was that? He was running a long way across center field and ran into the wall, right? Full speed. So maybe if you shorten that track that he's got to play on, if you will, less, likely maybe for injury like that in the future.
There you go. Let's see what else we got here. Oh, the Falcons and the Raiders. That was another Monday Night Football game last night. Falcons end up getting the better of the woeful Las Vegas Raiders this year. Last night, 15-9 was the score. What do you think about the Falcons? Is it time for them to go ahead and just play Penix for the rest of the year and move on from Kirk Cousins after this year did not go the way that they expected it to?
It's tough. We talked about this last week, right? I think it really it's organizationally, depending on where you see you guys at, where do you want to do in the near short-term future, okay? If you're feeling that you need to make the playoffs and you're feeling that you need that revenue boost for hosting a playoff game, for winning the division, then I would think that you probably leave him in there and you try with the veteran presence of a Kirk Cousins to try to get you the wins and try to win the division. I mean, there is something to be said, too, about throwing in, a young person like a Penix who might be able to play really